Episode 13, Sweet and Savage. At age 11, my father was both an alcoholic and a gambler. He was like one of those old-time mercury thermometers that were nailed to front porches everywhere. Ours was in the shape of a yellow and white sunflower. It evoked happiness. Where we lived, we had cold winters and hot summers. The sunflower was consulted with often to see just how cold or hot it was. It could be relied upon to always tell the truth, whether we liked it or not. Somehow, after a night of hard drinking, Dad was always able to wake up on time and get his act together for another day in the military. Listerine and Alka-Seltzer were bought in bulk and stored in bathroom cupboards. Early morning retching was not uncommon. The rest of us just had to wake up earlier and do our business, bathing and grooming before Dad. This was a well-practiced routine for our family. His combat boots were polished with spit, black kiwi polish, and remarkably fire. I don't remember how he set his boots ablaze exactly, but he insisted that doing so made them shine even brighter. By the time he was done with this daily routine, I could see my face mirrored back to me, my image coming through clearly from the depths of the polished blackness. There was an entire wooden box that held all these implements and tools to shine his boots. Dad loved routine. He did not love that routine disrupted. And at the end of it all, before leaving the house, there was a heavy splash of Old Spice cologne. It was so pungent and surely masked away any whiff of the previous night's alcohol use. Listerine gargle for breath, Visine eye drops to make redness disappear, antacids to calm a roiling gut, and enough aftershave that followed him out the door completed the routine. And then he was gone. I can't remember ever having him tell me or my younger brother to have a good day at school. He never asked how my day was afterwards either. He came home one day and saw my black eye from a fight. The boy was larger than me and a known school bully. In reality, he was just another kid who had it much worse than I did at his home and was desperate to make friends. He didn't know how. Dad immediately wanted to know if he looked worse than I did. No, he did not. The movie Rocky was yet to come out in movie theaters everywhere, but for those of us who can remember, Rocky Balboa's trainer was famous for his motivational pep talk before the big fight. Dad was furious with me. He gave me a pep talk of his own and on steroids. He had my blood boiling, and I was like a starved, caged animal waiting to be released upon the sands of the Colosseum. The boy stood no chance. I was thrown into the car and driven to find the boy walking home alone. I was unleashed upon him, and I showed no mercy. His bloodied nose intensified my rage. I had to be pulled off by my father and then given a lecture on the way home about sticking up for myself. The other boy sat on the sidewalk crying in defeat as we left. We later became good friends since we both had the common denominator of having unpredictable and autocratic fathers. In the 1960s, there were only one or two cooking shows. It was called The Galloping Gourmet. Julia Child had her own program, but she wasn't as exciting to watch. The chef was a handsome fellow who made cooking look fun, and he would sit down at a table after the meal was cooked to taste his result. His eyes would close with bliss, and a huge, satisfied grin would end the episode. Oh, I just had to learn to do this. We didn't have expensive cuts of protein or exotic spices in our kitchen cupboards. However, chocolate chips, brown sugar, white sugar, vanilla, flour, butter, and baking soda were readily available. I would use money earned from washing hotel dishes to purchase my ingredients and was eventually able to perfect the Toll House chocolate chip recipe from memory. My mother would have me bake several dozen for her infrequent office events. I allowed my younger brother to take some as well to share with his friends. The nature of Dad's role in the military was never made quite clear to me. I heard flight commander once, but who knows? Dad, despite everything else outside of the military, had a sweet tooth. He would have me bake cookies by the dozens to take to the base and share them with other service members. A rare compliment regarding my baking skills coming from him would have me glow with pride for days. It was a nice memory in my chaotic and unpredictable life. The sunflower thermometer went up a couple of degrees following days like that. Those moments didn't come often, but when they did, I held on to them.